People are out in the street clapping all these NHS people. They're all taking the knee now. So they're now supporting a black, anti-white, racist, Marxist, violent mob.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite incredible, isn't it?
And it is incredible. The amount of people. It's not just... So we've got the NHS, we've got the police force.
That's crazy.
We've got everyone that serves the country. We've also got big corporations.
Okay.
So, like, I saw...
Jayda, can I just interrupt you? Not that, I mean, would I dare to interrupt Jayda Fransen? It's just to say, because we weren't broadcasting to the Templar people, because we had some hideous glitch. Templar folk, how are you? Good to see you. I missed you. I wondered where you were. I thought, who am I speaking to? Strangers. I don't like speaking to strangers, you know me. Well, God bless all the Templars. The Templars are in the room now, Jayda. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Listen, really sorry, guys and gals, but we're doing this new technology, my gumbo. And obviously, I know nothing about it. It's very complicated and bizarre. But we lost you for 20 minutes, but you're here. But the full video will be uploaded later, so you can see it on the YouTube thing. So really, really sorry, Templars. God bless you. Today I was still reading, and I'll tell you what I was reading in case you want to look it up. I was reading Romans chapter 1, verse 28 and 29. Okay, sorry about that. And we have in the room with us, just in case you don't know who she is, Jayda Fransen, and she was just explaining at the weekend she was out guarding the war memorials and whatnot in Belfast, and she's all over the papers again. And you omitted, Miss Fransen, I noticed when you were explaining the paper headlines. One called you, was it crazy far right loon, Fransen?
Yeah, look, I mean, look at that. That's the face of a crazy far right loon being interrogated by a police officer on the streets of Belfast. But listen, I've been called far worse.
Absolutely. You'd be called a loon, all right.
They're now calling for... in fact, that's the second part of this newspaper article, is that they're saying, well, Fransen wasn't fined. So now they actually want me prosecuted for peacefully standing outside City Hall to protect a cenotaph so that mobs don't attack it. But there you
need to be deported back to England, woman. You need to be deported back to England
don't
again.
Say that.
If they could, they would. I can assure you. If they could, they would do it. But I seen you doing that. And, I noticed you said there that, in Belfast, I know Belfast is very well organised, and the people here are far more on the ball and serious people. And if they come out to defend the war memorial, they're going to do, if they have to, they'll scrap. But they don't throw beer cans at the coppers. But I noticed the far right, or so-called, I'm calling them far right now, God forgive me. But you know what I mean? The right-wing people who turned up in England. I seen them, and some of them are dressed up in shorts. Some guys had bras on. I don't know if you've seen that picture of a guy who'd actually peed himself and he was wearing a bra. Did you see that? What's that all about? Thank goodness. This is why I don't go to these things. I don't want to deal with it. But they were usual, drunk out their minds. Not all of them. The veterans were brilliant, well behaved, marched in with dignity and marched out again. But there was a lot of what I would call English louts, hooligans, who think they're right wing. Do you know something? I just wish these people would go away, because they're not men. Men don't turn up at your national memorial to defend it with their lives with cans of super lager, drunk, inappropriately dressed. I even seen one British right-wing leader attend the holiest place in the United Kingdom with a pair of shorts, flip-flops and a t-shirt on. Who needs to attack the war memorial when that takes place? I wouldn't even dream of going to a war memorial unless they all whistle on a tie. I wouldn't come on like this. I'd have a tie, the whole shebang, because you're paying your homage, your respect to the holiest of holies. So wandering down there as if you're going down a beach in Southend, eating a bag of Wilkes or jelly deals, I don't think that's acceptable. What do you think?
No, I absolutely agree. And I think, look, it's the age-old thing, right? That we all, and I said this at the start, your guys probably weren't on when I said this, but this is all fake news. All of this paper, there's a few papers in front of me, guys, right? It's all fake news. It's all lies and nonsense. But here's the thing, and they will always write fake news about patriots and nationalists. That's just a fact. The left, they fawn over them. So all of the headlines have been about Black Lives Matter, for example. These are the people burning our flag, attacking our cenotaph, tearing down statues, attacking police officers, attacking civilians. In America, they are attacking ladies in wheelchairs, killing police officers, right? This is what we're talking about. Our newspapers are fawning over them. Peaceful, powerful protests, right? Now, these are the headlines that we've got. They're so cringe. it's nauseating in the UK. They are tripping over themselves to fawn over these yobs and these thugs. But that's what they do. We know that about the mainstream media. We also know that anyone remotely patriotic is going to be just completely destroyed, hatchet job, no matter what you do. I mean, like I've been out this week we've given out Bible, like scripture, to people, to Christians, and the media still managed to put a negative spin on that, right? You just can't do right for doing wrong. However, I will say this: these people that are turning out drunk, dressed like, I don't know, clowns, dressed like clowns, people that are supposed to be nationalists, patriots, taken seriously, people that are supposed to be guarding our sacred monuments, are turning up and acting like utter degenerates. You're giving the media what they want. They're going to write bad stuff about you anyway, right? But if you're all stood there, this was my point. If you look at these articles, all they've got to say is Fransen was there, hundreds gathered, you know, Fransen at rally. Look at that, right? Fransen at rally to save Senator. Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Yep.
There was no degeneracy, there were no lager louts, there was no swearing, no fighting, none of that, no attacking the police, nothing, because it was that was in Belfast, and that this is more of a civilized nation. I'm just going to throw it out there. I've lived in England most of my life. This is more of a civilized nation. This is more of a civilized people, and these people are more serious. These people would have protected those monuments. Those people on Saturday were so drunk out of their mind.
They wouldn't know where they were.
One of them actually, one of them even got lost in a mob of Black Lives Matter activists, and one of the black fellas had to pick him up and carry him away. I mean, so this is what we're dealing with. They're bastardizing our cause, because I get thrown in with these people.
Me too.
Right? And I know, you too. And it infuriates me, because this is not what I stand for. I know it's not what the Templars stand for. We're about decency and Christianity and community, not drinking Stella in the street and acting like a yob and ending up on the news for acting like I don't know, for bastardizing the call. So I've got no sympathy for any of them. They all got lobbed in and said, "Oh, it was terrible." Yeah, it was. It was a
but
mess.
when are we going to learn? I mean, I've been involved in this game, sort of, conservatism, right wingism in Britain for 40 years, and it's always been the same. I remember going over years ago to England to help a right-wing organisation, and we were only young boys at the time, and we couldn't believe how immature, how stupid, how drunk, and how just ridiculous these people were. They were ridiculous people. They weren't serious. They had no intentions of defending their towns. And what have we seen since then? Town after town after town and after town falling under the Muslim caliphate, and 1 million English women being raped. Yet these big, tough, burly men with all this England, they've never lifted a finger in defence. Now, they're big, tough guys, and many of them may be able to lift me over their shoulder and throw me into a bush. But, when you're defending your country, you have to act like a soldier, and you have to have a soldier's brain, and you have to have decorum and decency, and sometimes a quiet strength. All I see here, and there's an old saying that an empty vessel makes the most noise. And that's what I see. I see a load of empty vessels. Now, I want to defend the Englishmen a wee bit here. And I don't know if you'll agree. You won't agree, Jayda, but I think there's no difference between an Englishman, really, deep down, than an Ulsterman. The difference is we have got leadership. We have got institutions that are long-standing, where we are told how we should behave, and if we don't behave, we get a slap. And I mean, a slap could comprise of a 9mm in the back of the leg. So we get put in our place, and we learn how to behave, because there's a structure there to keep us in our place. In England, there's nothing, and there's no leaders. There's no leaders in England, none at all. And I hear tell, even Tommy Robinson now is talking to Black Lives Matters. I mean, the only time I want to talk to people like them is if war breaks out, then we'll do the talking, but it'll be a different manner altogether. Why are people like Tommy Robinson speaking to Black Lives Matter? I mean, did you hear this? Is it a rumour? Is it fake news? Is it real? What's going on?
Well, no, I actually got sent something from one of his account, like not his accounts, but one of the guys that runs his accounts. So I'm assuming it's real. I mean, it seemed legit, and it was a screenshot of a guy, Levi something or other, black fella, Black Lives Matter activist, and it said, this is what I've seen, and it said that he and Tommy Robinson, he was on doing an interview with Sky News, and he'd said he wanted to speak to Tommy Robinson because he understood Tommy Robinson's plight.
Oh.
Now, here's the thing. I understand this connection, right? So then it went on to say that he and Tommy Robinson were literally on the phone. There was a photo of this guy on the phone. He was on the phone to Tommy, and the post said, "Now the establishment are really scared. This will really scare them." I mean, I don't know.
Time will tell. Time will tell. I mean, people know my opinion on Tommy Robinson. I've never been a fan of his. I've seen him going working with the Muslims, cooperating with the Muslims, the Quilliam Foundation. I've seen him getting the big cheque from the Shilman Zionist Jewish organisation. Gave him a cheque for, I think, $500,000 a couple of years ago. He had a picture with $500,000 and all the rest of it. I know he's built himself big fancy houses and all that. Don't get me wrong, fair play. But I've never seen any money getting put into the struggle. I've never seen Tommy donating to help a group getting up. I mean, we've helped you. I don't know. I've never seen Tommy helping other small groups to try and rise up and get on with it. I've seen a lot of money coming in. I don't know about the money going out, but that's his business. But my opinion, Tommy Robinson remains the same and has been for years. I think he's a very amiable fella. I think he's a very brave fella. There's no doubt in his courage and his bravery. I doubt his motives very much indeed, and I doubt his mental ability, because there's been no leadership given. No leadership whatsoever. I think Tommy's still in his football mentality, and he doesn't seem... He's a clever lad. He's no stupid. He's clever. He knows a war's coming, but he's not preparing for it. He's still leading mobs of beard-gutted, unfit, silly people who couldn't fight sleep. All right, in a punch-up that maybe be dangerous. Come up against highly trained, armed-to-the-teeth jihadis. They're going to get wiped out, and that's what worries me. So, we're not here to slag Tommy Robinson or anybody else, but Tommy needs to realise a lot of people do look up to him. He could be a conduit for leadership and a rallying beacon in Britain, but I think his day's done, because he's let people down too many times. And as I say, I don't like the guy, personally. But I don't care. I've worked with people who I don't like for many years, many times. I think Tommy had an opportunity to get people rallied up, but I personally believe that that day's long gone. So unless the English get a leader soon, I don't know where England's going to end up. Where do you think England's going to be, Jayda, in 10 years?
Oh, well, I wouldn't even give it 10 years. I've been saying for the past sort of, 5 to 10 years that there's going to be civil unrest within 30 years. Then sort of after, so let's say 5 years ago, that shortened to 15 years. Now, I'd say within the next 5 years, there's going to be some serious trouble. Look, we've already got it. And this is what I couldn't understand. And again, this isn't attack Tommy Robinson a half hour, but what I couldn't understand about this situation is, well, I do kind of get it from Tommy's perspective, because Tommy has said openly, and to his credit, he's been very open about this. His opinion, his views, and his beliefs are very different to mine in a lot of ways. So, I mean, I'm driven by sort of Christianity and nationalism, and he has said that he does not object to multiculturalism. He objects to Islam. Yeah. Like, basically, that's his objection.
That's it.
Now, I strongly reject multiculturalism. The result of multiculturalism is what's happening on our streets in London, the cenotaph being attacked, people demanding that statues are ripped down. That's what multiculturalism looks like. This is your utopia, left wing. This is what they wanted. They wanted and this is, again, going back to what you said about Englishmen and Ulstermen not differing greatly. You hit the nail on the head. There is a structure here. That's why these men in Northern Ireland, that's why these men are men. In England, there's no structure, there's no leadership, there's no community, there's no church, they don't belong to anything. There's just these kind of self-indulgent guys that are rattling around, and they're just being led by the media, or they're being led by what's popular. So that might be putting your looks before actually being a man, or talking about your feelings, or I don't know. Some of these guys actually think that they're women.
Would you like me to open up, Jayda? Well, we shall open up. How I'm feeling today? No.
No, I mean, I don't mind if you want to have a good old rant. I'm partial to a rant, but please don't start snivelling, because I have my feelings on that. But I mean, these guys are all, I see it all the time. These guys are crying on camera and stuff, and I can't abide it. I just can't deal with it. But lack of leadership, lack of structure, lack of God, you name it, it's all lacking in England. And I think anyone who goes down the road now of appeasing this Black Lives Matter,
that's pathetic.
Yeah, like it's going to end.
It's going to end. I think you're right. I think 5 years is optimistic, even because it's already happening now. We see it, and there is no active resistance to it. If a country can have 1 million girls raped and nobody actually does anything about it, apart from do a couple of rallies, drink a lot of beer, and do a lot of chanting at some Muslims, it's pathetic. Actually, it's laughable. But no other country in the world will do it. If you done that, if that happened in Hungary or Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria, any kind of more eastern countries, the war would be on. There'd be thousands dead by now.
Even here,
if it happened in Ulster, if it happened in Ulster, if one of our women were raped, that'd be it. There'd be blood. The gutters would be running with blood. I can assure you. Yeah. And by the way, I actually take a bit of pride in that. So I'm a Christian, but I'm not a pacifist. And if you come and rape our women, this goes for anybody. You rape our women, you're finished. Good night, Vienna. You're going. That's it. The next thing you'll be wearing is a wooden overcoat. And that's the way it should be. I've been told, like the video, click subscribe, press the bell, comment below. But that's why the Templars don't go to these things. People say, why don't the Templars ever turn up? Usually the big men, big mouths. We don't turn. There's no way we're going to turn up at that. We turn up on battlefields in Syria, in Iraq, in the border of Turkey, Bulgaria, Kosovo. We've been there. We turn up there regular. We're there. Some of us are there now. We ain't going to turn up on a city street in London and make a fool of ourselves with a beer-gutted, short-wearing, drunken, loudmouth buffoons. You kidding me on? No chance. We're not going to go there. And the people who are on the streets, Jayda, and some of all, let's just get this straight here, apart from your good self, all right-wing groups in the UK support gay marriage. They support immigration, apart from Muslims. They support multiculturalism. All of them support these things. And abortion, they support them all. Well, I suppose Mark Collett doesn't support a lot of them, but where is he? He does a lot of stuff online, but he's not out in the street, he's not doing anything. And he's a clever guy. He could take a big leadership role if he just get away from the bloody computer screen and go and do something. So if you're watching this or somebody tells you about it, Mark, I'm not having a go at you. You're a clever guy, you've got a lot of abilities. You need to get out on the street and take a leadership role and lead your men into the battle to save this country. Or our people, whatever way you want to put it. So that's my genuinely friendly advice to Mr. Collett. You've built a good thing up there, but it ain't any good keeping it behind the paywall of an online activity group. If you've got more sense than most of them, get out and start doing something so people can follow you. And listen, we'll be the first folk to promote you. Simple as that. Same with Tommy Robinson. If Tommy Robinson comes round tomorrow morning and say, I think you guys were right, I need to get some Christianity into me, I need to get proper right wing, proper conservative, and I'm going to give up all that other stuff, we'll promote them to the ends of the earth. But until I start seeing that, I don't want to know. Yeah, Christian.
I've said this in the past, right? I said this once to a journalist and he nearly fell over. Because these journalists think that we're full of hate because we love our country. Like, I think it's the most absurd argument. They know that this is a lie, but they've convinced themselves it's true. Again, going back to fake news. They've convinced themselves that this narrative is true. These people are full of hatred. No. Everything we're talking about is out of a love for our country, for our people, for the unborn, for God, so where does hate come in? Doesn't come in at all. This was put far more eloquently by, I actually don't remember who first said this, but I heard a man say once that we don't lock our front doors at night because we hate the people on the outside. It's because we love the people on the inside. And so, and that is so poignant. None of what we're doing is out of hate. It's purely out of love, and it's a very natural state to be in. But we are attacked for it. Look, let's face it. I said once to this journalist, if Anjem Choudhury himself, now I think most of your viewers probably know him, he's pretty well renowned, even in America. Yeah. I said, if Anjem Choudhury knocked on my door tomorrow and said, I have seen the error of my ways, I have found Christ, I've rejected the ideology that he's been following for years, and I am truly repentant for all of his many sins, and I'm a sinner, right? But we're all sinners. But if he meant it, I'd take him in. Yeah. I would take him into my home, because no one's beyond redemption, and we hear this in Scripture. So it's not that we're not. It's not that we're against these people. We're so for them. It's just they've got this huge opportunity, and it's being wasted. And it's not. That doesn't just mean that they're wasting an opportunity. It's an opportunity wasted for the future of our people.
Couldn't agree more. So, in the near future, we hope to see Anjem Choudhury, Tommy Robinson, Mark Collett, and a few more people all sitting in your front room, plotting to take back our country. Well, do you know something? I don't think it'll happen, but see if it did happen, I would be also sitting there, because that'd be a wonderful day. But we've got to be singing from the same hymn sheet, and I'm fed up people telling me unity, unity, unity. The Bible tells us there can be no unity. The Bible preaches separation. You can only be unified with people who have your own ilk. How can I be unified with a pro-gay person or a pro-abortion person? I don't care if they say they're pro-British, they're patriots. You cannot be a patriot. Now, I know there's people watching this from other channels, and I'm going to insult them terribly and upset them. But you know me, Jayda, I've been upsetting folk for 30 years. Let me be very clear here, guys. I'm talking to the men now. Guys, you cannot be a nationalist if you're pro-abortion or pro-homosexual. You cannot be a nationalist or a patriot of any description if you hold to these doctrines, because those doctrines are fundamentally harmful to the fabric of our society. A nation is from the Greek root word to be born, to be birth. A nation is birth. So even the reproductive natural law there is in action. And if a farmer went out, the minute the green shoots in his field come up and cut them down, he wouldn't be a farmer very long, because he'd have no crop the next year, next season, and it's gone. It's all over. His farm's closed. Same as a country. If you kill or prevent from being born the next generation, there is no country, because it's gone. If you support other sexual lifestyle choices as well, again, it's unproductive. It cannot go on. So you might think, I'm a patriot, but I support abortion, I support gay rights, blah, 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 all that stuff. No. You're something. You might not like Muslims, you might not like immigration, but you ain't a nationalist or a patriot. That's it. And if you want to argue with me, I'll argue with you all day long on it, because you are wrong. Absolutely wrong. I could say I'm an alcoholic, but I've never touched a drink in my life. That's how stupid it is to take the position you take. So that's my opinion, Jayda. Do you think I'm in for a rough time with that one?
No, I agree. It makes sense. How can anyone... I've
sense is nothing to do. We're talking about British nationalists here. There's little sense, as you well know. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, look, we've both been out campaigning on the streets for pro-life campaigning against abortion, even here in Northern Ireland, because it's only just been introduced here, and there were people dancing in the street here, and I just think, these people are sick in the head, because they do. A lot of these people claim to be nationalists, especially here in Northern Ireland. There are obviously
the Muslims, Jayda. The Muslims are laughing at them. The Muslims are laughing at these half-wits, because they're saying, we don't need to fight with you. You're going to breed yourself out of existence. You don't marry, you don't have kids, and then when you do get a woman and get her pregnant, you abort the baby. The Muslims are laughing at these people.
Yeah, they've got. Meanwhile, they've got 4 wives, right? And they're all white.
All white taken from our pool and base. Yep.
Yeah, they got 4 of them. And they don't have them all in the one house, because that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Like
even Muslims aren't that mad. Even the jihadis aren't that crazy.
No, so what they do is they let us, the taxpayers, pay for the 4 respective abodes for their 4 respective wives, and then they have a whole heap of kids with each of them. And all of those kids are brought up devout Muslims. And meanwhile, now, I know I said earlier, and we've said about people standing in the street and getting drunk and acting like hooligans. Let me just put something out there. I love a drink. I'm not going to sit here and start trying to be holier than thou. I drink, right? There's a time and a place to have a drink, and it's not when you're out on the street. No. It's not when you're trying to publicly display a love for one's country. It's not best done when you're slurring your words and you can't even stand up straight. They are looking at us. Well, I say us, I'm excluding myself and you, of course, but they're looking at the people that are the so-called representatives of Britain and the patriots of Britain, and they're laughing and they're thinking, when it does come to blows, when they do rise up, and it won't be long, because there's enough of them now, when they do rise up and there is civil unrest, do you think they fear the opposition?
Listen, everybody, all the right-wing groups throughout Europe, I travel, as you know, I've got offices in Serbia, Hungary, although I can't go there, I get deported from Hungary. Orban deported me as a threat to national security. It's unbelievable. But when I speak to Hungarians, Serbians, all these real tough guys, they train abseiling in through windows. They're training for the fight. What fight? I don't know. They train for a fight. Same as we do in Ulster. We're out in the woods training. But we do all that stuff, For some strange reason, British Patriot thinks it's acceptable and it impresses people to turn up, beer gut hanging out, tattoos on their eyebrows, 2 cans of beer, 1 in each hand, a flag tied round their neck, flip-flops, and shorts. You ain't got ready to go. everybody in Europe's laughing at them. They're thinking, these guys, because these other people in Europe have fought Islam before, and they're saying, you guys are going to get slaughtered. And I'm saying, whoa, I'm not one of the guys. I'm from Ulster. We won't get slaughtered. But you're right, I agree with you. They're going to get wiped out. They're going to get wiped out. And you get the bravado, I've had big skinheads threatening to beat me up and all the rest of it. And they probably could. I'm only a wee fella. But putting them in a field situation where there's a war on, they wouldn't stand a chance, even against me, because I've been in war. They haven't. And
well, that's a good example, right? That's a good example. We've said that the reason they're so lacking in capability, I guess, or just sort of sensibility, is because of a lack of structure. Well, even that itself is displayed in England because those who have structure, i.e. the veterans, are impeccably behaved.
Wonderful.
Now, those boys, I mean, I saw those boys in England. They always turn up. They are dressed immaculately. Their behaviour is
English
impeccable.
gentlemen.
Because they have structure. They've been in structure. They've served. Yes. They've got a cause that they are literally willing to die for, and so they understand that to do that. Now, a lot of these guys like a drink as well, because I know a lot of veterans, and I've sat and I've had a few pints with them. You know, these aren't. I'm not saying again, these aren't teetotal, but they know the time to get merry is not before you're going to go into battle, and essentially, that's what was happening. I thought about what's going on in our country and the fact that our monuments have been attacked. And I was thinking about when Jesus went into the temple and the temple was being mistreated. It was scandalous, and people had been told not to do it, and they did it anyway. And so Jesus was so infuriated at people disrespecting and disregarding the temple that he actually made a weapon and started physically attacking people, turning tables over. Now, the way I see it is, our country, my country, is my temple. And if you're going to come into my temple and disrespect it and disregard it and desecrate it, then be prepared for me to make a weapon and attack you.
Amen, girl. Amen. Amen, Miss Fransen. Absolutely. I think you're 100% right. Well, listen, I just want to tell everybody out there who's watching this, we say these harsh things because nobody else is telling you harsh things, because we love you and we want you to be the best men you could ever be and the best woman you could ever be. If we want to blow smoke up your backside just to get a few donations off you, we'd tell you a load of rubbish and tell you we're all wonderful. So please believe we are hardcore patriots, and we want you to be a hardcore patriot, disciplined, on the ball, who's fit, not just to save our country, but possibly stay alive in the process. So please, we are being harsh because she's an extremist. People say I'm an extremist, but we want you to be all you can be, and we're here to help you, not here to slag you off. So I want to make that really clear. Now I want to go on to a positive note, a really positive note. And by the way, what we've just spoke about, the criticism is positive, because through criticism we grow, we learn, we get better. Unless you're a bitch and you go away sulking in a corner and say, I don't like that Dowson, he's really cheeky, or Francis is saying we're all wallopers or balloons. Look, grow up. If you're a proper man, you'll take on board what we've said and you'll move on. But I want to talk about something that's I know, and it's fantastic. The first British nationalist newspaper in Britain in generations, and by the way, the best ever, because I've seen it, is now being launched by, drumroll, you. Is this correct, Miss Fransen?
That's correct. It is correct. Yes. Do you know, it was a lot of work, right? And it seems like it's just I'm so excited. I can't even put it into words. It's been a huge project, right? It's no small thing to have a newspaper created from scratch, and a lot of effort and time and thought went into this, because this whole process began with, like, all right, I think a lot of our behaviour as nationalists, as patriots, is reactive, right? If we weren't under attack, we wouldn't need to react. If the fake news media didn't attack us relentlessly, peddle their biased narrative and fill the headlines with lies about us most of the time, including the papers that I've got on my desk, you know, if they didn't fill the papers with lies, we wouldn't feel the need to boycott them. But no one can rely on the news these days, the fake news media. You can't rely on them, even the ones that pertain to be right wing, but the Daily Mail or whatever, they are trash.
Yeah,
they are utter
garbage.
trash. So I thought, let's do so. Do you know? And you've said this in the past. I know and I'm sure you mean this with the greatest of respect. But you've said in the past that it's kind of a shame that it takes a woman to step into this leadership role and say, "I'm going to set up a movement to save the country." But I did it, and I will continue, and I will save this country. You wait and see. But again, I kind of sat back and thought, well, I've been moaning about the fake news media. Donald Trump moans about the fake news media. We all moan about it, and it's something needs to be done. So I thought, well, let me just do it. Let me just be the one to make that change and deliver the only true news outlet.
Let's have a picture. Let's get the picture up so the viewers can see this. When you see this, folks, I'll tell you, this is a bit of all right. Look at that. And that's a full real newspaper size, yeah? Oh, yeah, wow. Yeah. Oh. And you've got a double page free picture of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. And by the way, before any of you weirdos or Nazi people out there who are watching this start moaning and groaning about our Queen, don't dare, because she's the monarch of this country and she's our Britannic Majesty. And if you insult the Queen, you insult me. I took an oath to Her Majesty when I joined up, and I'm still under that oath. Do I like royalty? No, I'm a Presbyterian. I am a Republican at heart. There you go. But I took an oath, and my forefathers took an oath to serve the British monarchy as long as they took an oath based on the 1688, 1690, whatever, Declaration and Act of Settlement. And that's still holding. The minute they break it, I'm off. Don't worry about that. But at the moment, she's our Queen. She's her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II. So no messing about. I hate to hear that. British nationalists despising the Queen. Get out of my country. How dare you? I don't like it one bit. So I'm glad, Jayda, and I know you're a Catholic and everything, so I'm really pleased to see you've put Her Majesty in the paper.
Oh, I have. I mean, you've no idea. I know you said that you get enraged, and I get it, and we're probably coming from very different angles, but I have a huge amount of respect for the Queen, and I get how people might feel about royalty. I do understand that, but this, and even if you just take this woman for her graciousness, well, her most gracious Majesty, if you take her graciousness, if you take her intellect, this is one of the most intelligent human beings on the planet. I will argue that until I'm blue in the face. A truly remarkable woman, and someone who grounds us. And I remember I was speaking to a friend of mine, and it wasn't too long into lockdown. We'd been locked down. I'm living in Northern Ireland, and we'd been locked down in Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland had been locked down as well. And a friend of mine actually spoke to me. Now, he's a Republican, right? He's against the monarchy. He doesn't particularly like Britain, right? He's from the south of Ireland. He's not into any of
occupied 26 counties. No.
Yeah. Right, so that's his line, right? That's his line. He certainly is no fan of the Queen. But he called me up and he said, listen, I'll give her, because I'm always promoting her. I'm always saying how amazing she is. And he called me up, he said, you know what, I'll give her dues. You're most gracious, he says, that I describe her. He said, she is remarkable. He said he watched her address to the nation, and she was saying about people being locked away and being away from their family. And he said, she's the only bit of comfort that I've had. You look at the mainstream media, all it is everyone's going to die, your kids are going to die, COVID's going to kill absolutely everybody, everyone's got to stay in their houses, we're going to run out of food, we're going to run out of toilet paper, everything's destroyed, the world's going to end. And she was the only glimmer of light for
it's good to know the Queen is giving comfort in these harsh times to the provost. I'm sure she'll be very pleased with that. But anyway, as usual, look, we think this is such a stunning initiative by you. I mean, who brings out papers nowadays? Who would even know how to do that? These skills are gone in the 70s with Nick Griffin and all people like that. Bringing out a paper, I think, is just blew our minds. So I know the Templars have set up a help page for you. We're going to put a link up for anybody who wants to contribute to the production costs and the delivery and all that. I believe you've done about 10,000 as a one-off run, or 30,000 or something. I'm not sure. But anyway,
30,000 on the run.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and they need to go out nationwide. Wow. And I know that you've set this up. I'm so grateful because it is a massive.
It's the very least. Listen, it's the very least we can do, because that's an undertaking. I actually heard about this. You said something about this, and somebody else who knows you and knows me said, "Do you know that crazy woman's trying to do a paper?" And I said, there's no way you should be able to do a paper. It's ridiculous. It's not just articles, it's journalistic articles you need. It's the quality of the pictures, all that stuff. I said that very few people can do a paper. I know an Irish fella who recently done a paper, and I know it was an unbelievable amount of work and graft and effort, and they help from all quarters, but really difficult. And then I heard you were doing one, and I remember approaching you and said, you've thought this through correctly. Bang, all of a sudden, you produced a paper. So, Miss Fransen, I'll give you a good old British salute. I salute you. It's incredible. And listen, everybody out there, whether you particularly like her or you don't, or you particularly like me or you don't, it's what we represent. It's what she represents, what we represent. We're the Knights Templar International. We're not a joke. We're not a LARPing group. You can go on and you can go and research all the what you want, but we're on the front line. She's been in jail umpteen times. We're real people. We're real people. And the Templars have decided we're going to try and set up a page to help her with this paper. So the least you can do is chip in. Get a wee bit of money in. People say, asking for money. How do you think the world works? How do you think, when you go down the shop today and you're going to buy your packet of cigarettes, which are about 10 quid now, can you imagine it? £10. I'm surprised any Scotsman smoke at £10 a packet. It's amazing. But anyway, you can't walk into the local Pakistani shop and say, give us those fags. What do you mean you want money? What do you mean you want money? These things cost money. This paper costs money. This woman's got no money. No money at all. How she's managed that, I don't know, but I guarantee she's in hock for doing it. So the least you can do, if somebody's went up off their butt and done something as remarkable as this in a time when our country's on its knees, if you do not rally and support this woman, what kind of patriot are you? Seriously. I mean, this is a serious thing. What else have we got? We've got nothing. We've no leaders. None. In Britain at all. None. They're all gone. We've no magazines. We've no paper. All the Facebooks are down. Most of the YouTubes are filled with idiots and nonsense. And this woman's went out old school, proper stuff. Produced a nationalist paper. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Get behind this woman. I know the Templars are going to throw something in. But Jayda, I wish you all the very best with this project, and we will promote it mercilessly, because I think you've done something that is the envy of Europe. The nationalist groups all over Europe are saying, how have the Brits done this? I thought they were all done and dusted. Well, you've just showed people like me, who are a bit cynical of the English, that there's a bit of fight left in the English yet. Bit of fight left in you yet.
There is.
And I'm see, just for that, I'm grateful. Even for that, I'll chip in personally, because sometimes I get so frustrated with England and the behaviour. But you're an English woman, and you've produced the first paper in my lifetime, and I can't wait to get it. I will distribute it around my area. I will. I'll get the paper and I'll distribute it. No problem. I'll pay you for 50 or 100, whatever it is. But I'll distribute them. And the techie guys tell me, like the video, click subscribe, press the bell, comment below. Well, listen, we're coming to the end of our time. Again, let me apologise very, very much to people. I know we were a bit late with most people. We were extremely late with the Templar people. No doubt the prior will be pulling me up and I'll be getting punished, but it wasn't my fault. It was the techie guy. I'm not in control of these things, folk. I'm just the face, and even that, I suppose, is a bit of disappointment. But there we go. But look, compared to Fransen, what chance do I stand? Come on, folks. Well, you know what's going to happen. You put me on, you put Fransen.
Oh, he's smooth. He's smooth.
Just telling the truth, Hen. But listen, God bless you. I seriously mean that. I think you've undertook something that I personally didn't think you'd be able to do. Gotta be honest. But you've done it. So, you know, I've got to eat a bit of humble pie. But you've done it and you're putting out. And I just hope people back you. Because what's wrong with our movement is everybody talks. But see, when you're lifted, and I've been there and you've been there, see when you're in the back of that prison van and they're hurtling you away to jail, and you're away from your family and everybody you love, there's very few folk then bother about you. You're sort of forgotten. I know there's a few folk always do it, but nobody bothers. You're on your own. I'm not moaning, I've never heard you moaning. But look, the least people can do is when somebody like Jayda does an initiative like this, which is groundbreaking, support her for goodness sake. For Britain's sake. For England's sake, support the woman. Yeah. Do the right thing. Anyway, Jayda, that's all for us. We have to go. Thank you for being so gracious as to come on the Templar Report. God bless you.
My pleasure.
We'll be here tomorrow. Remember, the Templar Report broadcast every single day, 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, and we have a Sunday service, 6 p.m. again. Everybody's welcome. If you've never been to church in your life, this is the thing for you. It's great, it's wonderful, and we do these emergency broadcasts every single day, apart from a Saturday. So we do Monday to Friday and a Sunday at 6 p.m. Everybody's welcome. You're all welcome, okay? And you'll get an honest opinion. You might not like the opinion, but it'll be honest. So I always sign off in a certain way. But today, Jayda, I'm going to give a nod to our Serbian friends who have been fighting the jihadis for 1,000 years. Can you imagine that? We think we know all about it. Belgrade has been flattened and rebuilt 47 times. They fought the jihadis for 1,000 years. They only get rid of them in the 1860s after the occupation that lasted centuries. So they have a certain salute, and I want to teach this to all the people in Britain. You know ISIS? ISIS do this. One God.
Yeah.
Christians in the East who fight the crazy, the Ottoman Empire and all these people, they do this. Father, Son and Holy Ghost. Now, most people don't know what it means. They know what it means. And you do that to an Islamic jihadi, they hate it. They go wild because they know what it means. 3. That's the sign. You see all the Serbs going into battle to retake Kosovo, all the kids and all the women at the side of the road and all the men, all the old men are doing the salute. So I'm going to sign off. Jayda, God bless you. I'll speak to you again.
Thank you for having me on. Speak to you soon.
So remember, that's all for today. Sorry we've ran over time. I'll see you tomorrow if God spares me. And remember, until then, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Dus Vault.
The threat is real, and we are on the front line. In a world of misinformation and attacks from the left and mainstream media, censorship, deplatforming, it is time to call out the fake news and bring you the truth. We are the Knights Templar. Visit our website and join today. We are the Resistance. Deus Vault.